Hello everybody, this is Morio and I will be going over how to convert a CK3 mesh to The Sims 4. First, I'm going to go over for this video how to fit it best to The Sims 4. So, I've got my mesh here, just something random I imported, and my base body mesh, which in this case I just chose some random thing from Sims 4 Studio. You can usually do this by exporting and the nude top and nude bottom and combining them. It really does not matter. Right. So first thing you want to do is make sure you do not delete your rig, this EO PDX rig. You will control left click on both of these and click S to shift and go down. And that will resize your mesh. And you just want to generally just like size this down to, dang, I accidentally resized the body too. You want to resize this to the size of the body basically. And I'm just hitting Shift C to like sort of change the camera when it moves like that. And about there looks okay. Like that. And you can usually just use these little arrows here to move it side by side. Ooh. And Control Z is back. So this doesn't really look half bad, honestly. I mean, it's a little bit long. Probably size it down a little more. There we go. Now it's not as much of a problem. That looks much better. Not a big fan of the shoulders, but we'll get back to that. Alright, so with the little wrench icon here in modifiers, you can see that this mesh is bound to the CK3 rig. So we're just going to click on that. We're going to click, actually, I want to get rid of the rings first. I don't want these. So we'll just click C and select all of those. And you can click face shift and click L to select a ton of things at once. And then just hit the delete key, delete faces. And there we go. Cool. Go back to the rig. We're going to hit pose mode. And as you can see here, this for most of the meshes that you convert, whether from CK3 and otherwise, will have this armature here. These are super helpful. So you're just going to click on like one of the dots. And if you click R on your keyboard, you can just sort of move the mesh up and down like this. Clicking RY will move it in this direction. RX, Y, and Z will basically change the axis that your arm is moving on. You can do this with pretty much anywhere. So I usually just do one arm at a time and just hit R and sort of make it so it almost fits. Yeah, that looks okay. Maybe a little farther. And just go and use different angles. It's a lot easier that way. I'll click the one in the middle and move it like that. Much better. And now for the other side. Oh, a little too far. And move it here. Yep, there we go. Alright, doesn't look bad. I think that's probably all I'm going to move for now. Yeah, the legs look okay. So when you're done adjusting your mesh however you want to, with to fit best to your arms, you will go to the modifiers tab in your mesh and go over to this little drop down arrow, hit apply. Then you can go to that rig and delete it, and you have your mesh in place. And then I go to sculpt mode and I just sort of move everything around. So honestly, you really don't have to do this unless you really want it to fit to your Sims mesh. Because you're going to just delete the body anyway, it really doesn't matter. This hand's a little bit off, but it's fine. So over here you can change the radius of your brush, and that just basically changes how much moves. I like to hit symmetry and hit mirror X so everything goes in at the same time. And if you lock X and Y, this is basically just going to move your mesh this direction. In this case, I always start with resizing the posterior, because it looks huge. I don't like it like that. And just sort of move everything. That looks nicer. Not too far. And I will usually do this as well. It's a little bit large here. This is the area it causes most problems when I'm doing weights, is up here, where you have a lot of like fabric sims. If you could see on the mesh, it goes all the way up here, which, yeah, not great for weights. It's really annoying. So try and make it fit as best you can. And you can also see that the breasts are in like slightly lower down. In this case, we can just sort of raise them. What the? Oh. And I usually recommend doing this a little bit at a time. And try not to make them like super pointy. That looks okay. It's not horrible. It's not half bad. Or something done quick. Also, I'm kind of happy with how it is now. Although, usually you do want to adjust your shoulders a little bit. They look kind of ugly. And I usually fit this a little closer to the neck so you don't see random gaps. There we go. Alright, that looks okay. Not bad. I think I kind of like this. And you can see how it looks. There's a little bit of mesh sticking out, but we're just going to delete the body anyway. So, just go to the body, hit edit mode, A, and you're going to click sync your UV selection here. And this is your face mode. I like to use this. And this step you don't necessarily have to do yet. I just like to visualize it right now, just to help. And you can click C and use your scroll wheel here. And click down on the scroll wheel and just sort of paint over here. And that will show the ones that you are not going to delete. And you can do that over here as well. There we go. I'll probably delete more, but it's fine. And if you just like end up deleting too much, you can always just import the mesh, your base mesh again. It really does not matter. And this is the what is this? The UV editor over here, and you can sort of like move your things to the side, and if you click this little thing with the 4 arrows sticking out, that will pull it and give you another. Like that. That's just sort of like basic Blender stuff. There's probably another Blender tutorials. And just in case I did not say, I'm using Blender 4.2.2. I find it the most easiest, honestly, and it's very intuitive and doesn't look like crap like some of the older versions. I am not a big fan of like 2.7 that much. I try to use this one. In this case, I can probably delete all of the legs. There we go. And if you're not sure, you can click this little button over here with these toggle X-ray, and that shows you what it looks like under. Nope, not these. I try to delete as much of the body as I can because it just makes for a lot of clipping later, which nobody likes. It looks disgusting. I don't want to see random bits of skin poking out on my meshes. Oopsie. Alright, that'll do. So that's just how you fit the mesh to your sim. And later I can probably go over a tutorial for like UV mapping, weight transfers, and all of that. And alright, that is all I have for now. Thank you guys.